Welcome back, everyone. This will be my brand new Marvel Nova video. They're finally doing a Nova project. They finally announced it, so we'll break it all down. There's a bunch of Easter eggs and a couple Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame deleted scenes featuring the character that you might have heard about. So if you're brand new to the channel, we are doing videos for all the Moon Knight episodes starting next week, so we're doing a giveaway for Disney Plus memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and post all your Nova reactions on the video. Some of you will probably have to wait till after you watch the video to find out what's going on, but some of you might know what I'm talking about. Recently in your feeds, you probably saw the official announcement that Marvel is finally confirmed to be making a Nova project with the showrunner from the Moon Knight series. That also really bodes well for the writing on Moon Knight if they brought back that dude to develop their Nova project. Everyone remembers the Russo brothers talking about Nova back when they were promoting Avengers Endgame a couple years ago.
Macho Man, Russo brothers, how do you guys not have any Nova Corps member in a fight against Thanos? Love the movie, but just boggles my mind. Didn't even have to be Richard Rider. I look closely at that scene again, and you will see.
There are thousands of people.
Yeah, you will see Richard Rider in the background of a shot. Easter egg.
At the time, we were kind of like, what the hell? What are you doing that for, Russo brothers? But now it makes a little more sense. Marvel has been trying to figure out how to do the Nova character right for the last several years, since long before Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame happened. In fact, like I said, there are a bunch of deleted scenes from Infinity War and Endgame featuring the Richard Rider character. That clip of the Russo brothers talking about the original version of the character during the final battle of Endgame was just the tip of the iceberg. I'll explain all those deleted scenes with the character in a second. But there is a lot of confusion over whether Marvel is doing a Nova movie, like giving him his own traditional solo movie like you would have seen before Disney Plus existed, or if they're doing a Nova series on Disney Plus, as is now the tradition in Marvel Phase 4, mostly. Some minor characters appear in the movies for the first time, some appear on Disney Plus now. Currently, Marvel is developing the project as a limited series on Disney+. What that means, though, is a limited series is one season. Like Nova would debut on a Disney Plus series, and then he'd be in all the movies going forward. Like, they're not showing the character and then never bringing him back. It's the same with Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a limited series, but he's showing up on Disney Plus first, and then he's going to be crossing over with all the Marvel Phase 4, Marvel Phase 5 movies, and Avengers 5. What that means, though, is you basically get a 6-hour Nova movie, like 6 45-minute episodes with him using the same budget as if we were to get a Nova movie. All the Disney Plus shows typically have budgets around $150 million. It's just them telling what would have been a movie in 6 hours instead of 2.5 hours like they would have before when there were only movies. Moon Knight recently is the best example. We get 6 hours of a Moon Knight origin story instead of 2.5. Then he crosses over with Werewolf by Night, Blade, Kit Harington's Black Knight character from the Eternals movie, and hopefully we get a Midnight Suns in the MCU, and then he'll eventually cross over with the new and existing Avengers in Avengers 5. So it's basically the exact same deal with Richard Rider Nova. You probably saw recently in your feeds also talking about a mystery titled Marvel Space-Based TV show they're working on. Well, big surprise, that space-based TV show is for Nova. I'll explain some of the differences between the comic book version and the MCU version of the character. Richard Rider Nova is actually a human who started out living on Earth and is chosen by Roman Day, this character here, played by John C. Reilly in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Even though they used the character kind of comedically, he was meant to be a version of Roman Day.
Peter Jason Quill from Terra, raised from youth by a band of mercenaries called the Ravagers.
What a bunch of a-holes.
In the MCU, in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Nova Prime is actually meant to be Glenn Close's character, who's just the leader of the Nova Corps. In the comics, Roman Day plays the last surviving Centurion of the Nova Corps, like the last living receptacle of the Nova Force, and he selects Richard Rider to succeed him, taking all of his power as Nova Prime. He becomes the sole receptacle for all the power of the Nova Force, which in the Marvel Universe was kind of designed to be like the power cosmic. The power cosmic is the force wielded by Galactus that he gives to all of his heralds, like the Silver Surfer wields the power cosmic. It makes him incredibly powerful. Originally, the Nova Force was designed to be similar to that, but it gives Richard Rider a measure of superhuman strength, durability, speed, stamina, all of his senses. It gives him a healing factor. It gives him the ability to generate energy from his body. He also becomes the receptacle for the Xandarian world mine, which helps him manage the power of the Nova Force because it's so vast. In the MCU, we saw Xandar quite a bit. Xandarians are the main race of the Nova Corps that Thanos destroyed on his way to take the Power Stone at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War. And here's where that deleted scene featuring Nova picks up, how they would have originally introduced him starting in Infinity War. So in the theatrical cut, at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War, you see the rest of the Thor Ragnarok post-credit scene, but it's meant to be the second Infinity Stone that Thanos has come to collect. Thor, Loki, Heimdall at least staying behind on their ship with a portion of the other dead Asgardians now to stall for time so that the others can escape. Thanos has already been to Xandar to take the Power Stone and in the process basically wiped the entire planet clean with his fleet. In the deleted intro scene, what would have happened is they would have shown an extended introduction version of Thanos attacking Xandar and the Nova Corps to take the Power Stone. He would have destroyed the planet, killed Nova Prime, Glenn Close's character, the rest of the Nova Corps, seemingly. But after he leaves with the Power Stone to go after Thor and Loki, it was going to be revealed that Richard Rider was the last sole survivor selected by the Xandarian World Mind. He would have already been in training with the Nova Corps, he would have been a junior character, but he would have been the sole survivor of the planet. The Xandarian World Mind would have identified him as the nearest available candidate available for the Nova Force, and because the World Mind manages the flow of all Nova energy all across the universe, all their tech for all their empire, and everybody else is supposed to be dead, he's the only survivor, Richard Rider becomes the single living receptacle for all of that power. Then it would have turned into a little bit of an MCU John Wick arc with Richard Rider coming for Thanos with all the power of the Nova Force being minted as the new Nova Prime. Because the events of Avengers Infinity War are meant to play out very quickly, like Thanos assembling all the Infinity Stones as fast as possible, the movie would have been way too short of a time duration for him to figure everything out, so Richard Rider would have come back during the Avengers Endgame final battle. Had a much larger scene taking his revenge on Thanos and his army, similar to what you saw from Scarlet Witch, like she kind of shows up in the final battle. So you took everything from me and almost winds up killing Thanos. Richard Rider would have done something similar. So remember how the Russo brothers made that joke about zooming and enhancing on the final battle and you would see Nova fighting there with all the other characters? That was originally meant to be a joke the way they presented it in that video. He isn't there in the final battle, so don't bother zooming and enhancing on any of that footage. You won't find him. But he was there in the original version of the scene. So technically they weren't wrong, like they were kind of lying, but they weren't lying at the same time. He just wasn't in the theatrical cut. What they wound up doing is getting rid of Nova in the Infinity War intro scene because they didn't want to spend an extra 10 minutes explaining who Nova was all of a sudden, and this was going to be the first time you actually met the character. They wanted to get to Thanos, Thor, and Loki as fast as possible, some familiar characters. Then when they were figuring out how they were going to do Avengers Endgame, even though they included every MCU character and their sister in that final battle, for the most part, they didn't want to introduce Nova for the first time as a backup character for a few seconds that not that many people would notice on first glance while everybody is flying at each other on screen and things are going crazy. So they pretty much gave all of his final battle scenes, his entire story arc, to Captain Marvel. And her inclusion was kind of the same deal too, like a left field, last minute kind of thing. Most of you probably know now, watching the behind the scenes, that originally they actually shot footage of Captain Marvel for Infinity War and Endgame way before they ever shot footage for the Captain Marvel movie. So at the time, they hadn't even figured the character out. That's why she looks so different in those two movies than she does in the Captain Marvel movie. Marvel kind of did that thing where they're like, here's this brand new character who's super important that we really want you to care about, but we recognize we're just introducing her right now at the very close of this huge story about a bunch of other characters that you actually do care about. No matter which way they went down, it was going to be kind of messy. In order to make all those scenes for Nova, they would have had to spend way more time during Infinity War setting him up, and they really should have spent a solo movie a couple years before Infinity War setting him up to do it properly. So eventually they got to the point where they made the decision to introduce him during Marvel Phase 4 later in some space-based plot where they could take their time and do it properly, like you would see during Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. Cut to now, Marvel Phase 4 in present day, and that's what's happening. Because so much of the Nova Corps is tied to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, it is possible that they have a cameo scene for him during Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which they're filming right now. That movie is mostly going to feature Adam Warlock paying off the post-credit scene from Guardians 2, and most likely a version of the MCU High Evolutionary played by the Murn actor from James Gunn's Peacemaker series. It's also possible Richard Rider Nova gets cut up in the Captain Marvel 2 plot, The Marvels, because aside from the Fantastic Four movie that they're working on right now, that's the only other space-based movie that they have that they're developing currently. That'll probably change soon because as you can see in Marvel Phase 4, even though multiverse is the operative word right now, like we have Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness coming up in a couple months, Marvel Phase 4 is also getting way more cosmic, and that's why Nick Fury is going to space, why he's been in his space station since Spider-Man No Way Home. So they'll be doing more and more space-based Disney Plus shows, more akin to what you see from the Mandalorian episodes in the Star Wars universe, visiting a bunch of different planets around the galaxy, but mostly traveling around in outer space. Let me know in the comments though, what do you think of Richard Rider Nova finally joining the MCU officially, and which other Marvel Phase 4 movies do you want to see him cross over in? I will do videos for the series when we get more details or a trailer. It'll be cool to see what they wind up doing with them. But congratulations to Tret Advent, you're the giveaway winner from my last Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Everyone click here for that brand new Marvel Secret Invasion announcement video, and click here for my Moon Knight Episode 1 trailer video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.